Dude, Chris Buescher heard you talk shit about him a couple weeks ago, and now he's going on a tear.
Good for him, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I said.
It was the Bristol thing. He had no business winning Bristol.
I mean, I stand by that.
He showed your ass. Roll the tape. Welcome to the Big Moter Small Blade podcast. I'm Buddy Pulley.
And I'm eating crow, apparently.
Not really. And we just got done with Michigan. The 2 days of Michigan. Well, not just got done, but 2 days of Michigan.
24 hours of Michigan.
24 hours of Michigan. Yeah, we'll talk about all of that. Christofferson, I think is what I was trying to say. Fuck it, I'm rolling with it. Winning back-to-back races. Josh Berry replacing Noah Gragson. And Big Dick Shane Van Gisbergen is back. Next on the Big Moter Small Blade podcast. What's up, dude? How much of this race did you actually get to watch?
I really only watched the last 20 laps, but I was listening to it.
Yeah, you watch any highlights?
Just what was on Twitter.
Jesus Christ!
What?
You missed a hell of a race.
I know. I've been.
Okay.
I was driving yesterday, and
just making sure you missed. You missed a hell of a race. I was fully convinced you were going to hate this. Well, yeah. Anyway, before we get into the actual race, some midweek news. Martin Truex returning to JGR. I guess he realized that boat was more expensive than he thought it was. Yeah.
I feel like Martin's just going to keep doing this for the rest of his career.
Yeah. Yeah, he announced it in the most Martin Truex way ever. They just asked it randomly in media, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm coming back."
I wonder if that's in his contract. He's like, "There's no announcement. I'm just gonna say it."
Dude, I heard it on the teardown that he doesn't check his phone for like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, I just got done listening to the teardown.
Yeah. And you're gonna hear some points I make. I swear to God, I made all of these notes before I listened to it because there's a lot of shit in here that's similar to what they say as it normally is. I also found this interesting. Brad Keselowski, during his media availability, said that he wants to expand to 3 cars, but no charters are for sale right now because everybody's hanging on to them with the TV deal coming up in 25. And he says Rick Ware Racing is a good middle ground. I think that makes a whole lot of sense for Shane Van Gisbergen and why he's running Xfinity and not going straight to Cup. Or it just adds to that.
So what you're thinking, whoever he wants to sign with would need to buy another charter first?
I think either he would want to be in a chartered car or whoever, probably Trackhouse, because they also want to expand.
Yeah.
You look at it, charters, you'll know the TV deal, and charters will probably be for sale at the end of next year or 25, and I think that would be probably the prime opportunity for Justin to buy another charter, whether the charter system expands or even if it goes away and you might not even need to buy a charter. I think that's probably the route they're going with SVG.
Yeah. You're probably right.
It just added to that. I feel like there's a lot of people wondering why he's going to Xfinity. A lot of people had him pinned just going straight to Cup, but if he really like wanted to be in Cup, like really wants to be, then they could definitely run a 1 or 2 year deal with Spire if they wanted. So that's kind of Mondays ain't for Martin no more.
It looked like they were for a minute.
It's looked like, yeah, dude. I think it tweeted yesterday. I was like, this is one of them deals where Martin Truex is going to lead 7,000 laps and make it the most boring race of our lives. That was, like I said, man, that was a good race. Dude, Michigan, I said it last year. Should be just hold some more weight, man. I think it should be a crown jewel.
Well, considering
you can't manufacture that, but
yeah, that's not how that works. But I do understand the point. I also understand the point that now, how was I going to put this? Oh, I'm so sick of the slander. The amount of people were like, people were trying to create a fourth crown jewel now that there's no Brickyard 400. I'm sorry, the Bristol Night Race has always been bigger than the Brickyard fucking 400. I don't care how many people showed up to the race.
Not true, but it's definitely is the fourth one. Like
it'll be the fourth one next year because more people are going to show up to it than the fucking Brickyard 400.
It'll be exactly. Yeah, no, I think NBC could do a better job at playing up why? I don't know. I think we could do a better job of playing up the manufacturer, like the weight that carries going into Michigan, because it does carry a lot of weight. I mean, obviously Ford and Chevy's backyard, and it pains them if a Toyota goes to victory lane, which they haven't in a while with 9 straight Ford wins. But I don't know. I think Michigan's it's an important race to win, and I think that needs to be exposed.
Yeah,
more.
I mean that's fair.
Yeah. And in case you're wondering, the population of Brooklyn, Michigan is 1,370.
1,370.
1,370. I looked it up. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Just had to let you know that.
That would have been worth mentioning on the broadcast, Rick.
Yeah, exactly. John Hunter Nemechek won the Xfinity race.
The spin and win.
Oh yeah, he did spin. Yeah, he wrecked all three of both of his teammates.
Nice.
Yeah, that's all I got to say about the Xfinity race.
Has random thought, Ty Gibbs has been in every other Xfinity race this year, it feels like. Has he won one? I don't remember him winning.
No, won one. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's been quick. I don't know.
I mean, he's been fast in all of them. That's why. Yeah.
He just doesn't get it. Oh,
damn it.
All right. Getting the meat and potatoes of the race. It took forever. Man, we would have gotten halfway if they would have stopped wrecking.
Probably,
yeah. I mean, let me put it like this. Rumor has it Corey LaJoy and Ryan Blaney are still having that conversation. Like they're still talking about it. They had a two-way radio like it did at Talladega.
That would have been entertaining.
Yeah. And Christopher Bell, he wants to be Denny Hamlin so fucking bad. He tries to be the voice of the sport, and it's all bad takes a lot of times, and it flies under the radar. And then he tried to Denny Hamlin Alex Bowman into turn one. Like, just went in there and was like, I'm just going to drive you straight into the fucking gray in turn one, and then wrecked himself. Like, it was the most Christopher Bell shit I've ever seen in my life. But, like, it just hit me. I was like, he wants to be Denny Hamlin so fucking bad. Like, he does. That was just a stupid move.
Yeah.
It was just stupid.
Well, I've mentioned this a couple times this year, and Bell is way too high caliber of a driver to throw away as many opportunities to win as he does.
Oh my God. Yeah.
All the time. I mean, like
top 5 since he won.
Really?
Bristol Dirt. Yeah.
Well, he would have walked away with Chicago if he hadn't biffed it into turn one.
Stepped on his own. I mean, he had a fast enough car to win today.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
It was fast enough yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was still pretty damn quick today, believe it or not.
Somehow.
It's dumb shit like this, man. Dumb shit like this with Christopher Bell. I don't know.
Dude's almost 30 now, is he not?
I was about to say, yeah, he's a little bit too old to be making these types of these. I don't know. Kyle Larson makes the same dumb shit mistakes too. So Kyle Larson also wins a lot more races.
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like Kyle doesn't throw away this many opportunities to win all the time. But to be fair, he may. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just an unnecessary move. Like, I mean, you're really gonna, which I guess it was coming down towards the end where we were racing the weather, so it was kind of do or die. But it was just like you had the faster car. You didn't need to send Alex Bowman into turn one and then wreck yourself. And I don't know. I'm glad the dumb SOB had to stay Monday and run around with the junk race car.
He finished top 15, did he not?
Something like that. Yeah, probably. Looking through my notes. The other Alex Bowman wreck. Do you see this?
I have. I've seen like a terrible angle of it.
Yeah. So, the fuck was your boy doing?
I don't see how you can blame this on Kyle.
Bro comes up the track. He comes up the track and they meet. Bowman has to come down. Larson comes up the track and they meet with Chase Briscoe.
Okay.
Ultimately,
and there was already a wreck. There was already a wreck going on in front of them.
Yeah, but why is Kyle driving up the track?
Fuck, I don't know.
Control your boy.
I can't do nothing to control him.
Look, man, I don't know what the hell Austin Cindric was doing in the first place to cause that wreck.
Yeah, that's the big problem here. Let's focus on Austin Cindric being historically ass.
Yeah, he needs thicker bifocals apparently. Like, my God, dude. Did you see I guess you didn't see the rainfill when he was talking about playing Wii Sports with Harrison Burton. Like, underrated, by the way. Wii Sports, way underrated.
I mean, I don't know if it's underrated. It's still talked about, and it's like an 18-year-old game now. It's
true, I guess.
Well, however old it is. I think that came out in 2007.
I don't know. That's it for I had for the hot takes or whatever you want to call that. Other things that happen. Okay, well, all right.
I don't know if you understand what a hot take is. Neither of those were very hot.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't really know why I called it that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't. Whatever that way. Anyway, Noah Gragson is suspended. I'm gonna keep it pretty short and sweet. I don't think Noah Gragson's racist, but you probably should kind of pay attention to what you like on Instagram. You're kind of a public person. So one, don't be racist. Two, don't like racist posts on Instagram. I mean, that's pretty. I mean, like I said, I think it was poor judgment and just a misunderstanding, like a lot of people I feel like have, of what is dark humor versus what is offensive. And I think this is just a stupid move on Noah Gragson's part. I mean, if you want to like things that make you look like a piece of shit, then you should probably think about the fact that you have sponsors that you're representing and you're, in the NASCAR Cup Series. It's just dumb. Just really dumb. This was a big dumb thing that could have been prevented by just using a couple brain cells. And here we are. I mean, he was already going to lose his ride, and now he's in the shit. So that's really all I had.
That's all we have for the record.
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, just simple as that. It's just dumb. I mean, it's just a really just stupid, just really dumb. and you can't excuse it. So, result of this, Josh Berry's in the 42 car for I don't know how long. I would imagine. I don't think Noah Gragson's coming back. Actually, before we get Josh Berry, do you think Noah Gragson has a pathway back?
I think he has a pathway back, just not this season.
Yeah,
not because. If he wasn't already losing his ride, I think he'd be back in the car in a couple weeks. That's the hardest stance I'm going to take. But he's already losing that ride, so I think he's out.
Yeah. I guess that depends on how long he's suspended and all that. Yeah, I'm Matt. Yeah, like you said, I don't imagine he's in that car next year. Next year, the rest of this year. He's definitely not in the car next year. John Hunter will be in that car. Newsflash. But Josh Berry, this is just getting better for Stewart-Haas Racing. I mean, they are just getting free experience on someone else's dime. Like, go ahead, fucking junk a rear clip at Legacy Motor Club at Michigan. Go for it, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean,
shit. Legacy cars can't be much slower than Stewart-Haas cars.
Dude, you're getting experience on someone else's dime. It's too perfect for SHR. Yeah. He's going out there, he's driving fast race cars at Hendrick, and now he gets to drive slow race cars at Legacy. He's getting the best of both worlds. I mean, that's how Stewart-Haas kind of is. It don't matter. You don't know what kind of mixed bag you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get the booger flavored jelly beans or the berry flavored jelly beans with Stewart-Haas Racing.
What about the Josh Berry flavored ones?
I didn't even mean to make that berry pun. No pun intended there. But yeah. I don't know how long he's going to be in that car. I would imagine he'd probably just keep him in the car. I don't see why you don't.
I don't know. I don't think it matters what manufacturer the car is right now, at least with that car, put it that way.
All right. Yeah, that's fair. But I feel like if Josh stays in this car, I feel like it's a great thing for Stewart-Haas Racing. It can only the only thing that I could think of is he doesn't get to run for Rookie of the Year, quote unquote. I don't think that really matters.
Well,
Ty Gibbs got to, so I guess that
Ty Gibbs ran half of last year, so
yeah. So anyway, so couple life lessons there. Don't be racist. Don't be stupid. And also, if you're going to fuck up, do it on somebody else's dime. That's for Josh Berry, not necessarily the other guy. All right. Weird, awkward situation with a weird, awkward man aside. He's back. Big Dick Shane Van Gisbergen's back. He's running a truck at IRP, and then he's back in the Cup car at Indianapolis.
Honestly, I think that's the part I'm more interested in seeing.
Oh, 100%, dude. Yeah. I don't really give a shit about watching a truck race. I'm fully invested in this.
I will definitely be recording this to watch it. 100%.
How do you think he'll do?
I think he'll run about 20th all day. So I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I think that's probably where he'll be for most of the race.
I got high expectations. He's not going to win, but I think a top 10 is doable. He's in a good truck. Nice truck is a good truck. I think, he's got a little bit of dirt experience. For some reason, I feel like IRP kind of fits in that kind of wheelhouse for a dirt racer. You're kind of there's a lot of lines you can use, and you're kind of fighting for the top, but you can use the body. It reminds me of obviously they run pavement midgets and pavement open wheel cars at IRP. So like it seems like it fits in that kind of wheelhouse, and I think he can lean on some of that dirt experience he has to put on a good show in IRP.
I think the biggest issue is he's definitely not going to have it in the first part of the race, probably like through stage 2. The biggest issue is going to be just navigating the chaos that is the back of the truck field.
Yeah.
And just being there at the end. Because, if he can make it through to the third stage, he can probably get it up into top 15, top 10. The issue is going to be getting there.
Yeah. This is interesting that, it's kind of a why the hell not run it for him. But it's kind of a little bit out of left field. But I think it's gonna be. It shows that he's taking this seriously. He's taking this NASCAR deal seriously. And I think, like I said, I think he can. I think he'll do well. I think this will be kind of the first. This will be the first impression for any owner that's looking at him for an Xfinity ride next year to see, okay, how much money am I going to spend in rec race cars next year? Obviously this isn't the end all be all, but it's a good measuring stick, off the bat to see how he does. And I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on this race. Not even, obviously a lot of fans from all across the world, but a lot of people in the industry, because I think right now he's probably the hottest prospect.
Yeah.
And then he's running the Cup race. Straight up, what's he gonna do?
He's gonna run top 5 all day, and then get fucking doored at the end of the race, and probably wind up 25th because Cup Series.
Okay. All right. Now they did move the restart zone back at Indianapolis a little bit to help with that.
Yes.
So we'll see how that goes in the Xfinity race and kind of have a better idea. Kyle Busch seems to think he's going to win again.
And
Kyle Busch is proven to be smarter than I.
It's true.
Yeah.
I do think that the difference of these guys having run this track a couple times will, there's not the big gap he had at Chicago is just not going to be there. And then we've seen what happens when Cup drivers get near other cars. They just start using it.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. That's the way it tends to be.
Yeah. I think, that was on full display here in Michigan. I think that if it's a relatively clean race and we don't have restart after restart after restart, I think he can win. I think he can win the race. I think he had such a big gap at Chicago. That gap's definitely going to be cut, but I think there's still going to be a, discrepancy between Shane Van Gisbergen and the field. And I just think that, dude, if Trackhouse can show up with a piece, man, I don't see why he can't. I really don't see why he can't.
What about Brody Kostecki?
That's another good one. I'm glad you brought that up.
He's higher in points right now in supercars, right?
Yeah, but only thing about him is straight up, I don't know him, so he's not going to do as good because I'm not pulling for him. No, that's a hell of a point though, because I'm not even now. That's a name I can't pronounce for sure. At least for right now. Hopefully by the end of the weekend I'll be able to.
I had much less of a hard time figuring out how to pronounce his name than Shane's. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I don't think he's in a good of a car. I don't think that RCR car is going to be. I don't think it's going to be as good.
I don't think the difference is going to be that stark.
I don't think it's not a huge difference, but I think it's enough of a difference to where you're going to have Shane probably running up towards the front, and Brody's probably going to be, I'd say he'd be more in that 15th range. Like, I think.
Do we know his crew chief in that car?
I have no clue.
No. Okay.
Because I mean, here's the thing. At least Shane has a race under his belt. He has practice laps, and he'll get more. And he already, has experience running at the front in a NASCAR Cup Series race. And he kind of got the ball put in his court because he was at a street course. Whereas Brody, he's getting thrown to the wolves, and he's probably not going to be in a race winning or race contending situation, because he is going. I think that's what people need to look at more as far as going to Indianapolis, and drivers have, and drivers have run that track before. And I think it's going to be more of a deficit for Brody than it is going to be for Shane, I think. And I think that's getting overlooked. Like, I haven't heard really many people talk about Brody, and I think he's definitely going to be one to watch, but I don't think he's going to be where Shane is.
I think you're selling him short.
I'm not trying to sell him short. I don't know much about I didn't know much about Shane Van Gisbergen. But
exactly
before it, but the chance.
Because here's the thing is I do understand. I do definitely understand your point about Shane having been up at the front of a cup race before too.
Yeah.
But I think that situation was different enough and unique enough that I don't think there's going to be as big. Like, there's definitely going to be more. There's going to be a difference, but I don't think it's going to be as wide as maybe you're predicting here between the two of them. I think they both have a better shot at it than Kamui or whoever
I don't
else is in the
expect
race.
much from Kamui.
Yeah. As we've seen sports car drivers getting in cup cars, they're not ready for it.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know.
1 second. I'm looking up a little bit about Brody. But it's funny, as Wikipedia already says, driver in the number 33 car for Richard Childress Racing in the NASCAR Cup Series. Yeah. I don't know. I think, I mean, here, you take Brody and I'll take Shane.
That was the plan.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad you brought this up, because I just had Shane Van Gisbergen down here because he gets views. But but yeah, Brody and Kamui. I think I don't want to sell Kamui short, but yeah, I think
Kamui will be very much like a Jordan Taylor.
Yeah.
Probably fast in qualifying and then get to the race and just get bullied.
Yeah. Now, Toyota is going to be strong. And yeah. I think that's another thing about Shane, is Toyota has been significantly better than the field on road courses this year. And he took a Chevrolet and took him behind the woodshed. Yeah, I think that's something that can't be overlooked, is that too, just the sheer driver aspect that was made up on that. And so I think that's something you got to kind of keep in mind with Shane. And I think, that will be, practice is going to be very interesting to see how that goes for Brody. And I think you'll have more of an idea of how Brody's going to do in the race based off practice than you will Kamui, because I think Kamui, like you said, Jordan Taylor's super quick in practice, super quick in qualifying, finished 28th in the race. It's going to come down to how many wrecks, what's the, what are the restarts like? And I think the Kiwi Aussie invasion in NASCAR is something to behold, and I'm excited for it. I'm looking up the weather in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I mean, if it's raining, then those three are probably going to be whooping
sunny
ass.
and 85, so
Okay.
we don't have to worry about that.
That's good.
But yeah, just wait 20 minutes. I'm sure that'll change.
Yeah.
But yeah, Indy's going to be a.
Oh wait, hang on. You mentioned the Toyota aspect of it, and my brain kind of immediately went to you making a point about Kamui maybe having a better shot, and I don't know what made me think that, but what it did lead me to think was that the difference is the 67 car has only driven once, and it was Daytona. And I understand that like Shane's only been in the 91 once, but at least it's actually a similar racetrack. They actually, setup's important or whatever. And also like Travis Pastrana had never really done anything like this. Not at least not in the past like 10 years. So I feel like that. And then when was the last time the 33 even ran? I think that is the one thing. Like, so the 91 is fresh off of running a cup race competitively, and then the other teams aren't. I think that is an important thing to
that is true, because at least the 91, because you look at it, I mean, they weren't planning on running Shane in any more races because it pulls resources from the 99 and the 1. They don't hire anyone else for that. And I think that's, at least they have experience with that, and more experience than the 67 and the 33, especially with these next gen cars. There's not many people there's the depth in the race team, I feel like isn't as much. So that's a good point. But yeah, no, I mean, I was implying that Kamui had a better shot being in a Toyota. I think he'll have a faster car, and it'll just be what he can do with it.
Probably, but I don't think the setup will be as good for actual race, would be my guess. Yeah.
All right. Indianapolis. Cool. That'll be fun. Welcome to the big leagues, Chris Buescher. Like that was cup shit.
Yeah.
That was straight up cup shit. Like
it was.
I mean, we've seen it coming with Chris. I mean, we said it last week. I mean, it's been something that we've been waiting to have happen. If RFK could ever get their shit together, Chris Buescher was going to be the guy. And here we are. He's won back-to-back races. Really pissed off I didn't pick him because I thought about it. I was like, what are the chances Chris Buescher wins back-to-back races? Apparently fucking high.
I just didn't think that team was ready to win at a track like this.
No, that's the biggest shocker.
Yeah.
Is like, I mean, at a downforce track.
Yeah. Like you could definitely, if you wanted to, chalk up Richmond to not a fluke, obviously, but you could chalk it up to, okay, they might be good at short tracks, but they're not ready yet. And then today they came in and said, absolutely not. We're absolutely ready to be here everywhere. Yeah. And executed perfectly. Something the 45 team needs to figure the fuck out. But
oh my god, dude,
we'll get there. Let's praise Chris a little bit more first. Yeah, dude,
straight up, Chris Buescher can win anywhere.
I don't think that's not even hyperbolic at all.
He just won. He won a short track last week.
Yeah,
he won Bristol last year. He won at Michigan today, high downforce track. He's won at super speedways. He's proven to be pretty good at super speedways. He's a damn good little road course racer.
Yeah.
Like Chris Buescher, dude. RK can keep being quick. Chris Buescher's a championship threat.
Yeah.
Like straight up. Like
he's starting to kind of look like the way Christopher Bell started to look. Around
it was better than Bell to me.
It was maybe a little later in the year last year.
He's quieter and he executes better than Bell, I feel like.
Yeah.
I think Bell he has a little bit of that Kyle Larson in him, where he's fast as hell, but his execution isn't always there. Chris Buescher is quiet, man. And he just today he just wanted it worse than Martin Truex Jr. I mean, straight up, Martin tried. Martin had, I mean, obviously Martin had the fastest car, stage 1, stage 2, but stage 3, I mean, that 17 was the best car. And Martin tried and tried and tried, but he didn't have the car there at the end. And Chris, did everything right and just drove the hell out of that thing.
Yeah. And thankfully Martin was committed to keeping it clean.
Yeah, which
he could have gone in there.
Expected.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, dude. I mean, RFK is the best Ford team. When the hell's the last time we could say that? When that Roush is the best Ford team.
Like what, 2011, maybe 12? Yeah, 12 probably.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Roush fucking Keselowski. Roush fucking Keselowski. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, dude, I'm trying to think of like I think round of 8 is like obtainable as hell.
It's very obtainable
for Chris Buescher. And I think like, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of just blown away that like, I'm sitting here thinking, oh yeah, Chris Buescher, championship threat. Like, I mean, I know I don't want to get ahead of it because, like, I mean, so many things can happen. I kind of said the same thing about Kevin Harvick last year, but I mean, they're hitting their stride.
You did say this exact thing about Kevin Harvick last year. I said the
exact thing, and literally 2 exact same wins and races.
All right, so never mind. Chris Buescher, round of 16 exit.
Well, I think it's more. I think it's more plausible that Chris Buescher. I'm not saying he's going to go win the championship. Like I said, Harvick. It's got to be at least the target for them. I mean, because they won Bristol last year. They're good at these. They seem to be pretty good at these low grip tracks. Am I wrong?
No.
So Darlington, obviously, he should be pretty good. He's obviously good on road courses. He's good. I almost would kind of compare Texas to this: high speed, high grip. I mean, there's just a lot of tracks that you can look at that, this will be this team and this driver will, pair well. And I mean, it's really cool. It's really cool because like it's fun when somebody kind of out of the blue like really just flies on the radar and really establishes themselves as a threat in the Cup Series. And yeah, I mean, welcome to the fucking show.
I'm definitely excited for Chris. I don't want to pump his tires too much just in case. I mean, it's entirely possible RFK only had 2 race winning cars this year, and they brought him this past 2 weeks. They could win 3 more races. Obviously, we don't know, so I don't want to sit here and pump his tires up and then just fucking go in there and not do anything.
I mean, you got to look at him for like Indy or Watkins Glen too. I mean, you do. Yeah. I mean, you until they start consistently not coming to the racetrack with race winning speed at this point, you have to look at them. It's crazy that like it's every week that they're good. Both of them are good.
Yeah.
Like that's the most interesting thing. Cause I mean, you see like Trackhouse, for example, Ross wasn't as good today. He ended up finishing right behind Daniel, but he was clearly not as good as the 99. And it's been flip-flopped a lot this year with them, whereas RFK's, the complete opposite. Still waiting for Brad to get that win.
Yeah. And it's not like they're not there. Like like you said, obviously they've been good, but they just it hasn't quite broke their way yet. And I mean, process of elimination, they'll probably have one break their way sooner than later.
I think a win before the year's out at least.
Yeah. I mean, I think when we did our predictions, I definitely had Brad winning at some point. And it was around this time. I think I had him winning Daytona and then Bristol or something.
Yeah.
And honestly, that doesn't sound far-fetched now. I'm winning a couple.
No, it doesn't. I mean, Buescher just went and did it.
Yeah.
I do want to say Martin Truex, most Martin Truex interview ever. He gets out of the car and he says you just couldn't pass the leader at all. You couldn't pass the leader, cars, bad and dirty air, like this, that, and the third. And it irks me because literally you were the car passing everybody. You went from 14th to win the stage. Like you had no trouble passing anybody all day long, and your car goes to shit. Well, goes to shit. It was still probably damn near the best car on the track.
Yeah.
But your car goes to shit and it's the dirty air. Like, God damn it, Martin. Like, it just kind of irked me, man. Like,
breaking news: race car driver upset that he didn't win race.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was just it was just like it yeah, I don't know. Like I think I said it. Did I say this last week? I don't remember if I said it or not. That or weeks past. That just it's human nature to be hypocritical, and yeah, it's another example.
Everyone immediately forgets when it went their way as soon as it doesn't go their way.
Exactly.
That's just kind of how people are.
I'm living proof.
You said it, not me.
Yeah. Was Michigan a good race?
Yeah.
That was a hell of a race, dude. Yesterday, like, and I'll say, I think this was like top 5 in the next gen era as far as racing goes. I think this is a hell of a race. Michigan's a hell of a track. I mean, you could, I think dirty air was less of an issue here than almost any intermediate track. I mean, you could sail it. I mean, there was a lot of that kind of proto super speedway racing.
That's why
you had to get the push down the back, but like you could send it into the corner, and I noticed a lot more. You could peek a headlight out, and you could get enough air on the nose of the car to stay with the guy. Whereas, a lot of times with this next gen car, you almost have to get completely out of the wake of the car in front of you to stay with the guy. And it was just a good race. Like, I mean, you could, guys could move. If you had a fast car, you could move. And it got down in the race, and we saw, 2 guys fighting it out for the win. And it was, you had to pick a lane. Like it was, you had to, I don't know. You had to hit it right. And it was just, it reminded me of a Gen 4, like it reminded me of a Gen 4 race, honestly.
I'm still not in love with the way this car drives. Or not the way this car drives. Just the super speedway aspects of it. Thought the race was solid. I'm still not in love with it. It'll never be as good as when we were driving 216 into the corner or whatever the fuck. Like, I'm sorry. Like that see, here's the thing is part of what used to be so cool about these 2-mile tracks, ones that we weren't, the reason I say 2 miles, because the biggest thing we have where we're not quite restricting them.
Yeah.
And the coolest thing about them to me was how fast we went. And even if the racing is closer and more competitive, even maybe, there's still something lost to me when we're going in at only about 196. I say that, but compared to 214, or 215.
Here's the only thing is those numbers are impressive, and it there is something to be said about it is, exciting to see how fast a cup car can go down into a corner, but it didn't produce the best racing because of those speeds, because you're going so damn fast. I mean, you're more worried about not busting your ass than passing the car in front of you. And a lot of the reason we didn't have is also, we had lack of rear downforce. You couldn't, a lot of times couldn't risk passing somebody. It didn't produce the best racing. It was exciting for sure for that aspect. But I mean, today, this is still the fastest track, unrestricted track. I mean, they were going 205 going in the corner, damn near. And it was one of the first races in the next gen era where I've noticed when the cars, they had the on the wall camera shot, and the cars go by and it shakes the hell out of the safer barrier in the camera. And I was like, oh shit, gets me a damn half chub over here. Like, and you had that. I agree. I could do without if you're on the bottom of the track, especially in a big group of cars, you're at a real disadvantage coming off the corner because they're just going to blow by you. But once it got spread out a little bit, like once you got 5-6 laps after restart, that wasn't a thing. I mean, you could run the bottom and you weren't having to worry about the guy behind you getting a push from. I mean, there's a shot that showed back around 15th or so, 15th, 20th. It was like 6 or 7 guys, they were going 3 wide in the corner and just swapping positions back and forth and back and forth. And those guys would go in, send it in there, they bust their ass a little bit, and then the same thing would have. It was a constant cycle just because they were racing the hell out of each other and they could. But yeah, you were on the razor's edge. But it wasn't so far on the razor's edge that you're too afraid to send it in there underneath the guy.
I think that's part of the only that I totally get what you're saying. I think the only part of that is for me is that we already have that at so many places now. Like we already have that at like Kansas. Very like for me feel wise, this is very Kansas. Kansas is a lot slower, obviously, but I think that's part of the thing is when we were running the breakneck fucking speeds, open wheel speeds, damn near. That made it unique because we weren't doing that anywhere else. Now it's like it's just faster, but it's still the same type of racing. I don't know. It
doesn't remind me really much of Kansas at all because Kansas is more rolling out early, get back to the gas. It's not as much like, and it's more like
I'm not talking about the way you drive it. I'm not talking about the way you drive it. Obviously, if the driving's different, I just mean the visual aspect of it is not very.
Even then, it didn't really. I mean, I could see like the restarts, but to me, it doesn't remind me too much of Kansas, really. I mean, because
you're focusing on Kansas too much. That whole.
It doesn't remind me of anything. Like,
I don't know how.
It just, I don't know another track on the circuit right now that like you're on the edge that much. Like, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I don't think I might have said it wrong. I don't think you got what I was getting at.
No, I mean, I think I get what you're saying, but like, I don't know.
Man, I
don't know. This doesn't, This just, that was part of the thing that I like the most about this race. It doesn't remind me of really anything else we have right now. Like, I mean, a lot of
we don't have anything else where guys are running full throttle most of the time, where getting underneath someone is going to get you loose and lose all your momentum, or you have to send it in way too hard and you're going to wreck it. We don't have anything else like that.
No, because it's normally you go in underneath the guy and you get tight.
The point is you're going to lose all your momentum. That's what makes it look the same to me.
I mean, that's a similar aspect. It just, I don't know. To me, it just doesn't look the same, and it doesn't drive the same. And I think those differences enough, kind of.
Again, I'm not anti. I think as a whole, we've brought most of our products into a very similar field, and that's what I think we've lost with the horsepower lossage that we've had. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah. I mean, that's just your opinion, bro.
I can count like eight tracks we've made worse significantly.
I mean, I think that's a completely different argument than what we're having today. Anyway.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
For the record, since I said that, I don't think we made Michigan worse than it was most recently. I don't think that's the case.
Yeah,
this is significantly better than it was when we were running 550.
Yeah, and in my opinion, it produces better racing and more compelling racing and more. It's
definitely closer.
It very much is. It is a hybrid of. I mean, and this is true for a lot of tracks. It is a hybrid of the 550 package and the package we had before. And in my opinion, it's a good balance. It could be better, obviously, with more horsepower, but I think Michigan almost is better than Kansas and Charlotte. Maybe not Charlotte. Charlotte's really good. But I think it puts on the best show, and I think it is the least. What am I trying to say here?
That's a great question.
Yeah. I had a train of thought, and I totally.
I'm glad you backed out of the Charlotte thing, because I was going to fight you to the death on that one.
I just it's hard show. It's hard because this year being at the race is totally different than watching on TV, and I think besides the point. I don't know. Point is, I thought it was a good race. Good race. I thought I liked what I saw. God damn what.
Brian Pulley.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. I liked what I saw. I could point being, I could do without the restart deal, but I think, like I said, I think it's a perfect balance of, speed and drivers having to drive it.
Here's the thing, though. So how many restarts did we have? 8
or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. When what you say is, I liked it, I could deal without the restarts, that's a huge chunk of the race.
I thought the whole last run of the race was, well, okay. I'll put it like this. What I mean by the restarts is the having the kind of fifth, sixth on back. If you went to the bottom, it was almost a death sentence if you didn't clear the guy. That was the part that was least desirable for me. I enjoyed the upfront racing where, you saw basically what we saw at the end of the race with Chris Buescher, Martin Truex, but it was 4 or 5 guys. And it was like that for, 20, 30 laps, and the best cars, kind of were able to pull away.
Were you salivating?
Was I salivating? Yeah. I mean, dude, yeah. I mean, we just had 5 guys up there, and I was just salivating at it. And yeah, I mean, I thought that was, like I said, I thought that was fucking A. I can't get my shit together today. I'm just so fucking excited about Michigan, man.
You can tell.
Yeah. No, I mean, I thought that was the best part is when they did get spread out, when they did spread out a little bit at the front and were able to get away from the rest of the pack. I thought that was the best part.
Okay. I agree, but I'm not treading new water anymore, essentially. So yeah. I've gotten to the point now where I've made my grievances known to the point of I'm not going to keep reiterating them every race.
Yes, you are. You do it every week.
I literally barely done it today.
Playoff bubble.
Ty Gibbs moved into the playoffs?
Bubba's 58 up.
How many races are left?
I ain't counting 3. I ain't counting any chickens till they hatch.
Nope.
We got 2 road courses and a super speedway. I ain't counting no chickens till they hatch. Ty Gibbs is in 16th spot, up 3. Michael McDowell, -3. Daniel Suarez, -5. Allmendinger, -24. Alex Bowman, -44. And then I don't know who's after that. It doesn't really matter.
All right, I'm going to say something that's gonna make you go right back to whatever you were just saying a minute ago. I really hope we don't have any new winners because I'm having fun with the points battle.
Fuck this whole thing up. Yeah,
I'm having a lot of fun with this points battle.
Yeah,
I don't want to see any more of it unless it's someone like Bubba who's already ahead.
Yeah,
or Brad or someone who's already ahead.
Yeah,
I don't want anyone below the cut line to win because this is fun. And it would just fuck this all up, I think. So
yeah, no, I mean, I definitely agree with that. Like, I mean, I think that, yeah, I mean, yeah, I almost don't want anybody to win, even if it's any of the guys that are, right there in the point battle for sheer entertainment purposes. Because I mean, it is, I think, something that got overlooked a lot with this Chase Elliott deal. And can he point his way in? Can he not? He was dead in the water 4 weeks ago. Like, he was not going to make it. Like, I'm sorry. Like, people were overhyping the fact, oh, he's only got to get this many points a race. Like we said before, he's got to pass 4 guys, 3 guys, 5 guys, whatever. And it just wasn't going to happen because it's a whole hell of a lot easier to lose a bunch of points than it is to gain a bunch of points. And people were just couldn't get that through their head. And finally, Chuck had a damn tire just, grenade in turn 1 and put it into that argument. Thank God I don't have to wear that damn shirt at Darlington. Holy shit. And yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a hell of a battle. Alex Bowman has to win now. I mean, straight up, what could have been? I mean, they didn't do a good job of keeping track position, and then they got wrecked. So, kind of the story of Alex Bowman's year. But yeah, it's fucking on the next 3 weeks. We don't have a new winner. Dude, we're in for a dogfight.
Now, I'm partly waiting on 3 new winners just because NASCAR. But yeah, no, I hope we just see this points battle through because it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing. Bubba is, like I said, Bubba's not out of the weeds, by any means. Like, I mean, we saw now Suarez did gain 30 points today. We've seen guys lose 20, 30 points in a race easy. And we're going to two of Bubba's not greatest tracks. And then we're also, going to Daytona where anything can happen. And yeah, I think honestly, we can't really, I don't know about you. I can't say who I think is going to make the playoffs or not. because we're not going to know until Daytona. Honestly, the way this is fluctuating every week.
Yeah,
I mean it's pointless. But yeah,
no, there's lots of points.
no, there's lots of points going around. Yes, but yeah. Ultimately, I was thinking about this earlier. Ultimately, this doesn't fucking matter because none of these guys are winning the championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole problem with this thing.
Yeah. But the reason we talk about it is like there's a lot on the line, not just the playoffs, but I mean that come with making the playoffs. Like, yeah, you might be the 4 eliminated, 3. How many are eliminated? 4?
4?
Jesus Christ, buddy.
How long have we been doing this?
It's so too long. Were you talking about the podcast or playoffs?
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, there's too much money and exposure that comes with making the playoffs, and especially going into like something like this new TV deal and a lot of money moving around. That's what's really important for these guys that are trying to make the playoffs. It's not necessarily even a championship for them. Obviously, it does open up the opportunity for them to run for a championship, and crazier shit has happened. But that's really what's on the line for these guys is that the money and the exposure and what it sets up for them in the years to come than actually the present year we're at.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you you look at McDowell, Suarez, Allmendinger. Oh, even Bubba, throw him in there too. What's the strategy for them?
Don't wreck.
Okay. I mean, it's fair, I guess.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. I was thinking about this. Is you look like, do they go for stage points? Do they go for the win? Like,
this is a dumb argument. We don't have stage cautions at road courses anymore.
Yeah, but you still like. There's still the opportunity to flip, like you.
It's not as hard. It's not as hard of a line as it was. But I keep hearing, when I was listening to the teardown, the way they kept talking about it, just like, dude, you realize we don't have stage cautions anymore.
Yeah,
right?
But like,
I think if the opportunity falls in your lap,
but I mean, I guess it's not as hard, but there still is 2 or 3 positions that could be gained or lost depending on the type. It's not completely like flipped, like you're going to be like 15th mired back. But I think there definitely is a couple spots that are in play, whether you want to go for stage points or go for the win still. And I think that could be the difference if you pick the wrong strategy,
So this is going to be a boring answer, but it really just depends on where you're at.
I mean, yeah.
If you're running crappy all day and it happenstances where you have an opportunity to flip the front to win a stage or finish second or third. Yeah, you got to do it because you're not going to, have a great finish anyway. And obviously if you're a top 5 contending car and staying out to win this stage is going to, fuck you up, then you don't do that. So it's a boring answer and it's kind of a non-answer, but it's all dependent on your situation.
Yeah.
But I think, if you're not going to have a good day and it looks like you're not going to have a good day and your best opportunity to make the most out of your day is go try and get some stage points, then that's what you got to do.
Yeah. I think it's just funny that we are in this position that we're in where you have Bubba Wallace, who's, a big chunk of points ahead of the cut line, but he's going into some tracks that he's subpar at. And then you have the 3 guys behind him who are historically good at these tracks, and then we go to Daytona. Like, I mean, it couldn't set up any better. Like,
Yeah.
for that side of things.
Yeah.
I think Ty Gibbs is the guy at Indy. I think Shane Van Gisbergen aside, I think Ty Gibbs is the guy. I think honestly, I think he's the guy at Watkins Glen too. I think Toyota is, I think they are the best road course car right now. I think Ty Gibbs is the guy.
Until
At
I
least out of
see
this
different,
group, and I think he could be the guy, period.
until I see differently, Chase Elliott's the guy at Watkins Glen. Until I see differently.
I've seen differently all this year.
Not at Watkins Glen.
At Watkins Glen, that's true. But I mean, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. That's what a lot of this discussion is right now.
Yeah.
I don't know, we'll see. Literally anybody else is in Bubba's position, and we're not talking about this like this. Like, it's not a part of the discussion, but it's Bubba Wallace, who is historically ass at road courses.
It's not even that. It's more, well, I mean, it's partially that, but it's also like you just have seen just the fluctuation of points the past however many weeks with these guys. It has gone from a couple points to 20, 30, 40 points, back down to a couple points, and it changes every week. And so, like, you know, today, like, you know, 58 points. Before I really started thinking about it, I was like, oh, Bubba's safe. And I was like, oh, no, he's not safe at all. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that is as close to being safe as you can in Bubba's position. Because, I mean, that's a race over the cut line, basically.
Yeah.
But, again, Bubba's history at road courses would say that that's not safe at all.
Yeah, and then honestly, like, all four of those guys have been all pretty inconsistent in general, and that just, I think that kind of puts it up in the air more than anything.
Yeah.
Which
ironically, that is what has made the points battle as interesting as it has been, is how inconsistent they've all been. But yeah.
Dumbass.
I don't know. Christopher Bell.
Fair. Yeah, I was trying to think of a dumbass other than Christopher Bell, because dude, Tyler 45 team 2311 pick crew dumbass award. Like, it's making a comeback.
Yeah,
run it back.
That was embarrassing. Like Tyler said, you're waiting on gas anyway.
Yeah, that was.
What are you doing?
That was pretty smooth brain for sure.
Yeah.
Sundress.
I just went with RFK in general.
Solid. I'm gonna go with I mean, I can't really think of anybody. Go with my man Daniel Suarez. I'm gonna go with Daniel, and actually I'm gonna go with Daniel and Ross Chastain. Nothing to do with Michigan at all. I was at a thing on Tuesday in Charlotte at the Legends Car Southern Shootout, and they had both Daniel and Ross were there. Sat there and talked to them both for 10 minutes. Obviously, no Daniel, all right, but talked to Ross. He's actually not an alien for once. So that was interesting. And it was kind of cool just to talk to them about, you know, anything and everything. Ross is a Busch Light guy over a Busch guy. Pretty sure he's contractually obligated to say that. I don't know what the inner workings there are at Anheuser-Busch, but yeah. We'll go with that. Had a fun time. Picks. I'm
So I
going
lost.
SVG.
Yeah, we already did that. Kostecki.
Yeah, you lost with Rick Jones. Or I had
Joey
Rick Jones
Logano
and
has
Joey
done
Logano.
nothing for me
Ever.
ever. Why did I pick him?
I don't know.
Buescher was right there.
Yeah. Oh, you have Buescher too?
Oh wait, no. I've used Buescher.
Okay.
No,
I was about to say,
I think
damn.
I have used Buescher.
Yeah. I'm glad I saved my Buescher pick.
But I think I might still have a Brad pick left, which would make that bad. Because didn't he finish? Oh no, where did he end up?
4th.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's embarrassing. I should have had that.
Shout out to Eric Jones, man. My boy. Dude, I had faith in him. I had faith in him. Man's got married this week and won me some points in the picks. Man's having a week.
I'm gonna go start punching some freaking drywall.
Yeah. Indianapolis next week.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing we haven't talked about already, really. Playoff guys, they got to beat. I think they're getting hyped up a lot. I think they're gonna have to beat like Hamlin, Truex, Bell, Reddick, all the Toyota guys. Pretty much I think they're gonna be quick. Obviously, SVG. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I don't got anything else.
All right, cool. That's been the show. Q&A coming up. So can't submit any questions because that's already happened, but do that next week and then subscribe.
Definitely do that. We'll be talking about, I'm sure, SVG.
Yeah,
you know,
dude,
when you find a
that man has done wonders.
Exactly. We're gonna milk this horse until it's dead. That's.
Can you milk a horse? Don't answer that question.
I don't think. Well, yeah, you can.
Don't answer that question. Yeah, we'll see you in the Q&A, and we'll see you next week.